everyone, and welcome back to this demonstration of Aviatrix Copilot. What I want to show you today is some of the enhancements we've made to telemetry. First, I want to explain what a telemetry is. So what we mean by telemetry is those system and network metrics that we provide to you, the users, to perform analysis, also to do monitoring and alerting across any cloud platform. With the current version of Copilot, we have continued to expand those telemetry metrics that we provided you in the past, like rates up and down, as well as CPU percentage and memory percentage, to really expand that to 53 total network and system metrics across any cloud platform, making us one of the most comprehensive cloud native platforms to help you monitor what's going on in your multi-cloud network platform. So one of the places that we have instituted these enhanced telemetry metrics is both in the notifications section of your Copilot as well as in performance. So under notification, what it enables you to do is, of course, just like in previous versions, you could name your alert. So here we're going to call this one test 5. And then you can specify a condition. Is what I mean by this is you can either specify a specific system metric. So in here you can select anything from, of course, system interrupts, I/O, memory, and CPU, and disk. But you can also specify network metrics. And so here, some of the things that you might be most interested in creating an alert for could be the rate of drop packets while receiving. So this might be an indication that a specific NIC on one of your gateways isn't keeping up, and it might need to be upgraded on a particular instance. You might see error packets to received rate. So this might be errors that you're getting from your next hop away. You can also get transmitted carrier frame rate, so you can get an overall understanding of how many packets are going between you and the next hop, as well as your rate of packets dropped during transmission of you sending them out, so the next hop along the way dropping them. So all of these you can set up alerts for to actually trigger when certain things are happening on your network to be alerted. And this might, like I said before, be an indication that you might have started out, say, on Amazon with a T3 medium, and you really need to upscale that to a much larger instance with an enhanced networking adapter, so like a C5 2X large. So you can do that to actually see when you start to approach those on some of your instances, because once again, you don't want to pay for resources that you're not using, but you also want to be alerted when you start to get a rate or packets being dropped because the actual network interface isn't keeping up. One of the other things that cloud service providers may limit you on a network interface is to actually limit you on either the bandwidth ingress limit or a bandwidth egress limit, or they may limit you on a packets per second limit. And so once again, you'd want to know when these actions are occurring on a particular network interface or tunnel so that you can balance that load and work with the cloud provider to increase that limit for you. And so on this, what you can do, especially for production interface, is you might want to set a packets per second limit and set that to either 0, 1,000, 5,000, whatever you feel comfortable being okay for exceeding a limit rate, because you might also just want to be initially alerted to see how often it happens and for how long it happens. Because a lot of TCP applications can recover if some packets get lost and may retransmit. But if you're constantly pushing against that PPS limit, you might actually see some degradation on those connections. So here you can specify that rate. You can also specify that you want to be notified and get a separate email for each of those, because that might trigger different types of operational activities depending upon who gets an alert based upon a specific host. So you can specify that. Or if you leave it as it is, you'll get one email that specifies one or more hosts set up to trigger on this alert. And so here you can see that you can specify one or more hosts. So I can specify that I want this to happen on my GCP transit and at the HA gateway. So for the Google Cloud, this will be where all my traffic coming from on-prem to GCP is going to go through. And then I might then, for each of these, specify what interface I want to be alerted on. So I can specify a specific tunnel, say to my FireNet or to a spoke, or I can specify to ETH0, which would actually go from its connection down into GCP itself. And so I can specify that for the transit and the same thing for the GCP gateway. And then I can add the recipients, right? So I can specify one or more recipients. I might want to specify someone who is responsible for the overall operations to give them FYI this is happening. But also I might want to send it for operationally um, to a webhook that might trigger remediation that might also occur. So I can specify both of those. And then when I save this alert, it'll actually save that on the bottom. So you can actually see that if that happens on the ETH0 interface for the GP Safe Transit or the HAW, both of these both this email address as well as this webhook will get that alert. You can see we have a number of alerts listed down here on the bottom. One of the other really great things about these telemetry metrics is that you can also see those underneath performance. So I can select under network metrics that same packets per second exceeded. So if I want to see if that's happened frequently over, say, the last day, the last week on ETH0, I can actually see that occurring on the network. And then in this case, it hasn't. But if I had seen it often, then I could see that over a period of time, how often it occurs. And then from that, I might want to go and specify that alert.